Hey there, happy Friday. This week there are a few statements that I often hear in coaching when people come in, usually for the first session, or as we're starting to uh, delve into some of the deeper belief systems and challenges that exist within all of us. We just have different ones, right? Makes us special. So there are some statements that I consider to be woo-woo. And to be clear, these are going to be Vicki's view. I'm allowed to. It's Vicki's page. So the what I consider woo-woo are some of those statements that have made it around. You'll hear them. They pick up some traction and it'll be common. It's kind of like when the word awesome came out, or all those other ones. I'm not going to say some of the current ones now because I don't like them, but the sense of something where it's almost a statement that's being said but not quite felt, and it can feel a little out there. And I mean, I deal with the out there. I completely believe in angels and fairies and spirit guides and all of the things that is energetic in this world. And yet some of the statements will honestly get a Vicki eye roll out of me. So one of the ones I heard not this week, but the week before, 4 times, I kid you not, 4 sessions in a row, to where I thought, am I hearing that? And they're not really saying it. And I'm bringing these up to maybe add another level of understanding, because I love that people know and are delving into themselves, and they may have picked up on, some of the vernacular, some of the statements that got their attention. I'm grateful for them, but I picked 3 today that I thought would be kind of fun to bring to light. So make sure you comment, or if you have any questions, and even after, I'm happy to go back in and respond in kind. So these are my views. So the first one I heard quite often last week was, God, the universe, source, doesn't give us more than we are capable of handling. Well, have you ever been told that and thought, oh, shut up? I'm at the point where I can't handle one more thing right now, or I'm going to lose my stuffing. And the last thing you want to hear is, well, you obviously can handle it, because whomever it is doesn't bring us more than we can possibly handle. And where the disservice in that is that it often has the person who's receiving that statement feel like they're not capable, or they're less than, because they're already at their what may feel like their breaking point. And then you're suggesting that all of this stuff that's being handed to you, well, you must be able to handle it. And if you can't, well, then somehow you're not good enough, or you're not rising to the occasion. So, and the other part of that is, I really don't believe that there's any governing force handing us anything, or saying, let's send this down and see if Vicki can handle one more thing this week, or let's really test her mettle and see if she's got the strength to power through, or whatever statement may be there. I don't believe that that's there. What I do believe is that we are the magnets, and we are participating in our own experience, and we can draw to us some of those experiences that may seem like they're above and beyond the oh come on factor. We cannot manifest or create for other people. So as much as it can be difficult to be experiencing people crossing, or somebody losing their job, or illness, or anything like that, you didn't create it. So drop the guilt wagon if that's what you're riding on, and is acknowledge where you are and could you clean up your own vibration? Could you clean up how you're living in the world and what energy that you're exuding and what you're sending out? So with the exception of other people's actions and their path, you are bringing that in. So are you bringing in more than you can handle? And if that's the case, dial it back and look at maybe weeding out the people that you're hanging out with, or look to make some increases in your own vibration and to change the job or to do something different. So there isn't a put upon wagon, meaning that there aren't people who are handed, at least I don't believe, again, see Vicki's view on the woo-woo. Come on, that's funny. That people are handed more stuff or more challenging experiences. I just don't believe that. I believe from the soul level, we agree to learn and we agree to go through some what may seem to be challenging, but that is part of our process. So if someone should suggest to you that you are strong, if I hear that one more time, I'm going to show them that I'm 30. I can, throw those slam balls around because that's another statement that someone really doesn't want to hear when they're at their point. Oh, you're so strong. Well, maybe not. I think the greatest show of resiliency and who we are as a soul level is to admit when you're not strong. And it's a tough one for me. I'll be the first one to admit that. It's difficult for me in some instances to ask for help because I was told for so friggin' long that I'm so strong and I can handle everything. But we're human and we have moments and we have, what might be my tipping point may not even phase someone else. So if someone should say to you that God, the universe, source, big kahuna, whatever the terminology is in their world, doesn't give you more than you can handle, politely respond with, I appreciate your confidence in me and your belief in me, but I'm not handling anything. I'm doing this thing called life. Thank you so much. And don't say that again. You don't have to fill in that last part. Heidi, I agree with that. Heidi said she's heard this for 15 years and wants to slap people at times. And that's where you just walk away because I think it's coming from, for most people, I do think it's coming from a genuine place. It's just one of those statements that, again, gets tossed around like, I'm sorry for your loss. When somebody passes. Well, you may have heard me say this before, but every time somebody says that to me about Howard, I say, well, I didn't lose him. We weren't at the mall. Like, I can't find him. I know where he is. He's just not here in the physical. So it's something that gets said a lot of the times when I think we don't know what to say. And I have found it much more helpful and healing, hopefully, for the other person to not say anything or to say, I'm here. Here's a coffee, because coffee fixes everything. So that's one of the statements. The next statement that I hear with just about everybody that walks in the door, and I do understand that I kind of have a direct line for this question, but people will come in and say, I just don't know what my life purpose is. And I try to clear that up with what I believe the life purpose is. I believe we're all here to arrive at self-acceptance. And if you think about that for a minute, acceptance of others may come along more readily or at an easier path than a statement of whatever intention you're here for. So we're all here for self-acceptance, and that process is stinking challenging. So can you see how it would create more trips around the sun, how it would take a few more lifetimes in order for that to happen? Because it's a challenge to be in that space of self-love and self-acceptance. So if you're wondering what your life purpose is, your life purpose, all of your life's purposes have been to grow a little bit, to expand, to arrive in that space of self-acceptance. Now, we all have a different road or path in which we will arrive there and when we will arrive there. So if you want to line up with what your life theme is in this lifetime, you can often look to what is the challenge. Like, do you have difficulty in relationships? Do you have difficulty with speaking up? Is there is it really challenging for you to manage money? That could be it. So look to that, and that will often point you in the direction of what is my theme in this lifetime. And that can help you with the weight of that statement of what is my life purpose? Like, it's such a weighty statement. And I understand it helps someone to maybe feel purpose, but I'd rather do it in the reverse, where you start to tap into yourself and feel like, what are your gifts? So what are your talents? What are your offering? Which leads me to another statement that I'm going to add on. So we're going to have 3.2 or something. What is my passion? I can't find my passion for life. Okay, so do we have to have that passion? It's a self-help woo-woo statement that I feel like has, why do people not get that I'm doing a Facebook Live and I'm a little busy right now? So the process of the find your passion, it's just not sustainable, right? Like, if you think of passion, you're up at this level. And to be up at that level, it is exhausting and won't be sustainable. So what if you found, or you allowed yourself to feel your joy in your life, or the joy in the process of being you? What if you created an intention of connecting and feeling what lights you up, and leave that statement of what is my passion, I guess, to those who want to feel pressure. It just feels like too much. So when you're asking yourself, what is my life purpose, or where's my passion, I don't feel my calling, flip that to, I would like to feel lit up in this day, and how could I do that? It might be helping another. It might be going for a walk. It may be reading. Who knows what it is for you? Sing a song. Do something to raise that frequency, and that will help you to dial in a little bit more and not feel the deficit of the fact that you haven't figured out what this passion or purpose is. So I think we have to, I believe in a bar. I think we have to set goals and intentions and be reaching. But sometimes the bar is either placed too high, or we place it too high. And you can't even smack that thing like the door frame. It's just too far out of reach. And then that creates pressure. And then a lot of the times that creates stagnation, which is a really good place to call a life coach. So the third 3.2 woo-woo statement that I hear, and this one lately has been a pet peeve, I will completely admit that. So someone will come in and they'll be talking about this horrific experience in their life, or I'll see it in their energy field, this trauma that happened, and they'll say to me, but they were my greatest teacher. What the hell? No, they weren't your greatest teacher. They were there being themselves, and whatever action they played out in your life, if it was not kind or compassionate or anything like that, that's not a teacher, man. That's someone that you might not want to stay in school with. And part of the thing that irks me with this is that we often put teachers above us, right? We often, when we think of a teacher, we think of someone with more education or more knowledge or more understanding of how things work in the world. And the teacher element, I think, should be there in, perhaps in the education, in the what can I learn from someone, but to place someone way up there as a teacher when the interaction wasn't great is only devaluing who you are and how you see yourself. You are your greatest teacher. Your experience is your greatest teacher, and your willingness to learn is your greatest teacher, not someone who was acting out their own insecurities or their own issues, and you end up on the receiving end of that. So when you have an experience where there may be contention, or there may be conflict within a relationship, whatever it is, it could be a utility provider or whatever. When that conflict is there, what you'll want to do is ask within yourself, what am I to learn here? What am I to teach myself? What can the situation teach me? I think is okay. But we got to get these abusers and narcissists and, people who are truly, okay, maybe in their pain acting out, but at some point we have to stop putting them on pedestals that only create a shrinking of ourselves and then an inability to smack that bar we might have set for ourselves. So I'd be interested to hear any of the statements that you have heard along your spiritual journey, or your life journey for that matter. I think it's all spiritual, quite frankly. But and what are some of the funny ones you've heard? Some of the ones that, like my teacher one, that kind of irks me. And the intention here is to be listening for how do you respond to statements that other people may have thrown out. And because I think that's important for us to know our own GPS. Donna, you're very thank you. You're very thank you. Donna said thank you. You're very welcome. Amen, Jane. So this week, I love to give out the Friday challenge. This week, listen to yourself when you are minimizing your own greatness and your own expression and your own knowing of who you are, and using one of those platitudes or one of those woo-woo statements. I got another one. Love and light to all. Well, great, send love and light, but don't just say it. Like, be in that space of truly wanting to send it, wanting the other person without any attachment, wanting the other person to be lit up, and then go ahead and say it. But whenever people are like, love and light to you, I'm like, thank you, I receive, but if I don't feel like you really meant it, probably not going to. Donna, they can't help it. They have a problem. They are this, they are that. Hear that often. It could be true. I mean, we all have our idiosyncrasies, don't we? We all have our personalities, thankfully, or this would be very boring if we were all the same. I feel like that someone can't help it is a cop-out. even to the point where, I've said something and it comes out of my mouth, I could help that. So I feel like if we hold that person in a space of intelligence, of believing they can help it, they may need some education. They may need some assistance in understanding how their actions could be received. But here's the sticky wicket. If they can't help it, and it's happened more than once, or you're hearing someone else say they can't help it, you need to remove yourself from the situation. Why would you stick around? If someone is showing you who they really are and you stay for it, well, that's on you. So people do have problems. They do have challenges and everything, but to excuse that doesn't help the other person either. So either educate, embrace, or get out. Again, Heidi, with the strongest person I know, what I have started to do, and granted I'm not 15 years into this, but what I have started to do when people say that is, we all have our strengths. And I leave it at that, because I do appreciate that people see that. But I also don't want someone else feeling, and this, I guess it would be on them if they were feeling it, but I don't want them feeling that that they can't feel their own vulnerability too. So the ability to appreciate without correcting or changing takes it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice, and being able to receive what someone is saying, because again, like I said in the beginning, I do think most of these are offered in a complimentary way and a meaning to help. But if we start changing our language or changing our own vibration, I think it can help too. So the challenge this week then is for you to hear your platitudes, hear the statements that you say, and even the ones, like this morning I had someone say to me, well, my brain just doesn't remember things. Well, your brain just heard you say that, so why would it remember things? So be aware of your words. I feel like if you follow yourself around a little bit and you create the environment within your brain that starts to hear the supportive statements, that when the ones that no longer resonate with you, people tend to stop saying it. It's a whole law of attraction, law of paradoxical intent, because a lot of the times we think we know something, and we think we know something that we want, but we're really offering the energy of the opposite. So, okay. So there's your challenge for the week, to follow yourself around, hear your statements, hear what you're saying to yourself, and then just see if there's some woo statements out there and kind of want to hear them. And obviously, ones that I find to be humorous or not that helpful may not faze anybody. Because here's just the wrap up. Part of the reason that the teacher thing was bugging me was because I realized I had someone in that position, not really putting them on a pedestal, but my younger self still saw them as they were younger, and that's not who they are today. And once I realized that, there was this big relief that I felt. And it allowed me to now see her for who she is today. And I think that's a gift. So if you have a woo statement that's bugging you, let's take a look at it. Josh perfectly said, if we state to ourselves that you're a bad driver, or I'm just not that smart, I'm not good with money, whatever the statements are, our system will remember it, and it will start to act in that way. So we do need to be a little bit more mindful. So I hope you enjoyed Vicki's view on woo-woo and have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you here next week. Thank you all so much for commenting and for engaging. It really does add energy, and I'm so, so appreciative for you in my life. Have a good day. Bye.